Hello again! So last time we got quite a lot of the soft parts done of the Mandalorian costume, and it's starting to take shape. Obviously until we get the armour on it might not look much like a Mandalorian, but again I'm sticking with the soft parts, so here for part 3 we're doing more of the same. I'm really getting those kind of fundamentals down before even touching the hard parts in the armour. Okay, so for the flak vest I want something that's going to be a more kind of dull colour, because I've got a lot of bright colours going on in the skirt. I've got these scraps of grey polycotton. It's quite a heavy kind of cotton drill duck cloth weight. Now I've got 2 scraps that are about the size of me. I don't think they'll go all the way around me, so I think I'm going to have some panels of a different colour in the side. But for now I'm going to start by getting it on my mannequin, draping it, put a couple of pins in, and I'm just going to cut away where the bits are that I don't need. So obviously I'll cut it up across where the arm is, cut up across the shoulder, and then cut the neck. And that's pretty much how I'm going to have it. Once I've pinned these sides in, you can also see that for a closer fit, because I'm a bit curvy, I'm going to want a tuck or dart around here. A lot of people go for full princess seams, which will come in here, but I'm just going to go for a dart because a lot of it's going to be covered by the armour anyway, so you won't really be able to see any of that. And I'll do likewise for the back and see what we're left with. So I've got my front and back panels cut. There is going to be quite a gap down the side, so I'm going to add some contrast panels out of black leather, which should give a bit of shine compared to the undersuit, but should look nice compared to the flak vest. And then I've got my darts, 2 in the front, 1 in the back, just to make it shaped a bit better. And I'm going to add some hidden Velcro down either side so it'll be easier to get in and out of. So all I've got to do is join it at the top, hem it all up, add these in and add some Velcro. So I messed up. I cut the back panels too small. But hey, measure twice, cut once, don't do what I just did. So I found some grey leather that I've got and this spare black webbing. I think it's going to make quite a nice detail, make it look like, you know, look a bit more tactical as such. And then I'm just finalising the fit on myself. I've got Velcro here, that's how I'll get in and out of it. And once I've finalised the fit, I'm going to stitch it together and then do the shoulders. Myself. Most people do fit and that with chalk or get someone else to pen them. I just stabbed myself instead. Okay, with most of the vest done, it's time for the shoulders. I always start these by getting a piece of paper, fold it in half, and then start to sketch out first the outside edge of the shoulder, which be quite curved inwards, and then a much more slight curve for the outside edge, so the inside edge rather, so outside edge, inside edge. And then with this rough pattern I'll compare it. I'd say that's pretty close to what I actually want. It might be a bit too long, but I can deal with that when I transfer it to the fabric. And it's just a case of cutting out 4 of these, sewing them together with some interfacing in, and popping them onto the vest. Where did my chalk go? There it is. Now, little pieces like this are one reason I always keep hold of my interfacing scraps, because they've got to be quite firm and they don't necessarily have to look kind of perfectly smooth because they will be covered by a shoulder plate. I'm going to use old bits of interfacing and use those, as well as new sheet interfacing, to just reinforce it. Can basically just bung as much interfacing on there as possible. You don't want too big an overlap of separate layers, or the same layer if you can, but it's not the end of the world for a piece like this. So they're interfaced and sewn together. Because we're dealing with a large curved edge, remember you have to notch the edge by cutting little V shapes in it so the fabric will sit properly when it's been turned inside out. With them turned inside out, pressed flat again and the openings stitched up, it's time to pin them into place. I've always found that this is very much easiest done on a dummy or on a person if possible. Otherwise you kind of want to find the middle point and the middle of the shoulder seam, but it's best if you can do it this way so you can see how far forward you want them to sit, because you might want a slightly different look from just centralised. I want mine about there. Okay, so one detail that they're quite strict on is you can't have any skin showing between the bottom of your helmet and the top of your neck piece. So a lot of people wear a balaclava, but I think I'm going to make a chunkier neck seal. Like some characters in Star Wars have these, like Plo Koon and a few others, and they're kind of ribbed, padded things. So I've got some scrap fabric here. I'm going to cut out enough to go around my neck, which is about that much. And yes, this is old trousers, because I save pretty much any clothing that's going to chop up for parts, and if I don't use it after a while it does go in the charity shop bags. Probably had something else I could chop up for this, but whatever. Once we've got our tube, it's going to need to be sewn a bit shorter than that. I'm going to put some wadding in it, which is another kind of cupboard staple I always have for doing costumes. I might need to double layer it as this is quite thin wadding, and then sew some ribbing to give it a bit more of an interesting texture. For the next heel is made a tube out of the main fabric, put some wadding in there and stitch all the ribbing lines. Now, as you're doing ribbing lines you want to start at the middle line and then work your way out. This will prevent or at least minimise this kind of warping. At the back all I've done is got a little scrap of each of the fabrics, put them on the edge as a kind of cap. Because this is jersey it doesn't need hemming, which is great. And then a bit of Velcro. I'm probably going to just lightly attach this to my undersuit when it arrives, just to keep it in place, but that should hide my neck fully. So I did drop a clip there of me actually sewing on the shoulders for the vest. It's pretty simple, but make sure that, especially if you're machine sewing, that you pull the pins out kind of right as you get up to them. The reason being, both bits are curved and one bit is a lot stiffer than the other, so they might warp as you're sewing. Or if you're hand sewing, this isn't as much of an issue. The flight suit is one bit that I am not going to make. I honestly don't see the point for my build for making it. I want the fitted look and I like stretch fabrics and I want it in black anyway. So what I'm going to do is buy some black leggings and a black long sleeve turtleneck top. You're allowed 2 parts as long as they look like they're the same item. So yeah, I'm just going to go for that. It's going to be quicker and it's going to be cheaper. Just less hassle, really. Other than than that, I think we are on to the armour parts of this build, which are possibly the more exciting bits and the bits where I don't have as much experience. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. If you've liked this video, please do go back and watch the rest. Check out the rest of the videos on my channel. Please do like and subscribe. Also, check out my Facebook page, link is below, and my Patreon, link is again below, if you want to support what I'm doing. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and see you in the next bit.